begin by noting a difference between these two candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump is out there every day, 2, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, fighting for your vote, seeking your vote, because he wants to fight for you in Washington. And what's she doing? She's sitting at home resting. We want a president that rests all the time? She's sitting at home resting. I can't say I remember, I'm not that old, but I read history, and one can recall the election between Dewey and Truman. And on the night of the election, Chicago, I think it was the Chicago Tribune, had a headline that said, Dewey defeats Truman. Except, no, Truman defeated Dewey. You know why? Because Truman got on a train and he campaigned 20 hours a day for 2 straight months. He went everywhere, and Dewey kind of sat home, took it for granted, and thought he was going to be just inaugurated and coronated. Well, she's at home and she figures she's going to get crowned president. She's got all the press on her side, right? Right? Maybe a couple of exceptions, but the press is on her side. All this WikiLeaks stuff comes out. That would have ended anybody else's candidacy. It'd have been over with. The speeches where she said you have a private position and a public position. You know who has a private position and a public position? You know what we call them in New York? I don't know what you call them. We call them liars. What do you call them in Maine? What do you call somebody who destroys 33,000 emails after they get a subpoena from Congress? Think you call them a criminal? I don't know. I'm kind of like just talking like normal people. You call somebody like that a criminal. What do you call somebody who gets interviewed by the FBI? And they put in front of her a top secret document, has these little C's on it. And she said, they asked, did you know what that C meant? She said, no, I didn't know what it meant. Well, it means confidential. Confidential is a category of top secret information. And she said, well, she didn't know that. She said she thought maybe it was something to do with alphabetical order. The FBI investigation was so bad, the FBI agent didn't ask her, did you see an A or a B or a D or an F? What a bunch of lies! What a bunch of lies! She says she can't remember her exit interview. She can't remember her exit interview from the Department of State because her concussion, she lost her memory. And the FBI never went to go get the medical records to see, did she really lose her memory or was she lying? And by the way, if she lost her memory for that long, we kind of have a problem anyway, right? Well, in any event, Hillary on November 8th and the Clintons and all their shenanigans and corruption and scandals, and this is all going to be behind us. And we're going to have a chance to build an America that is focused on the things that are most important to the people, not the things that are the most important to the power brokers and the lobbyists and all the special interests and the press and the academics and everybody who lives up in here somewhere. The reason Donald Trump is campaigning all over America is, number one, he wants to show you he has the energy and the drive and the passion to fight for you. He's not going to make dumb deals like she did, resetting the relationship with Russia, giving up the defense of the Czech Republic and Poland for nothing. He's not going to make a ridiculous deal like they made with the Ayatollah, so he's going to become a nuclear power in 10 years. He's not going to make a ridiculous deal like NAFTA that took jobs out of Maine and sent them down to Mexico. He believes in the basic notion that President Kennedy and President Reagan had. that you're always better off with tax cuts. You're always better off when you put more money back in your pocket rather than my taking that money for the government. Don't you think, wouldn't you like to have about 10 or 20% more of your income in your pocket? Do you think you would handle that better than the government handles it? Well, that's what the Donald Trump candidacy is about. It's about the people. It's about restoring the government to you. It's about getting rid of the crooks and the rigged system in Washington. It's about replacing it with a system in which people are going to have lower taxes, people are going to have more jobs because we're going to negotiate the trade deals correctly rather than incorrectly. We're going to stand up to Islamic radical terrorism and stop it. First, we're going to say it, radical Islamic terrorism! And then we're going to face them, we're going to defeat them. And here's the way it's going to end. It's going to end the way Ronald Reagan said the Cold War was going to end. It's going to end this way. They lose, we win. That's it. So, he'll be out here in a few minutes to tell you his plan for America. I want you to know that we, unlike the other candidates sitting at home resting and practicing and doing all, it must be hard for her because she has a public position and a private position. So it probably takes about 4 or 5 days to figure out which one is she going to give us, a public one or a private one. I hope during the debate Mr. Trump asked her, is this your public position or your private position? Or maybe some cases she has 3 or 4 positions. One thing we know she doesn't do is tell the truth. Now, I can tell you this man tells the truth. And he'll be out here in a few minutes, and I want to make sure that Maine votes for Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.